This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
It's the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast for Friday, January the 28th, and we cannot wait to see January in the rear view mirror. Overnight lows tonight of minus 32 across the Quinte region, but by the time we get into February, come Tuesday, Wednesday, temperatures around the freezing mark, so we look forward to that. Coming up in the podcast, Hayden was on the show this morning from Harmony Public School. If you missed his fabulous motivational speech of 90 seconds, and how long did it take him to write it? We've got that for you coming up on the podcast today. It is Conference Championship weekend in the National Football League. Our bold predictions coming in the face of the boldness of last week that actually kind of worked out is coming up on the show. But Charity from her home in Campbellford knows all about getting out on this kind of a weekend. You guys are going to be getting rid of some of the snow and out on the back channel of the Trent, do some skating this weekend?
I hope to. I imagine we will be with the forecast the way it is. Of course, I can't imagine why we wouldn't be outside enjoying that. I know Battawa has opened up. They have all their runs open. So I know skiers will be happy to hear that. And as I mentioned on the show this morning, have already seen and heard the snowmobilers out. So lots of people taking advantage of the snow we've had and this winter weather, though it's not for everyone. And we realize that. And soon enough, it'll be warm enough to get out and travel. And it wasn't that long ago, Ontario announced their staycation tax relief coming next year. So if you stay somewhere in the province, you'll be up for a bit of money back next year when you go to do your taxes. So keep this in mind. I read this week that Vrbo, which is a one of the booking sites where you can stay, you can find houses to stay in as opposed to a hotel. They came out with a list of the top destinations that we'd like to drive to, because there was an uptake in that, of course, last year, many of us not leaving the province. So we were trying to find things closer to home. And small towns came out big on the list.
Really?
3 in particular. One right here in our own backyard, Picton, was listed at number 2.
Number 2?
As a staycation destination.
Wow.
Number 2. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. I think most of us here in the Quinte area know all the benefits that are over in the county, but it looks like now more are catching on and they see all the wonderful things we have to offer right here. So if you're looking to get away, even now, you can enjoy the wineries and some of the wonderful things available in the county. We've been highlighting the food too with our takeout shout outs. So Picton, a destination hotspot. So keep that in mind when you're looking for staycations this summer.
Yeah, it's not like Prince Edward County was hidden away, but for the longest time, it was under the radar. And, you know, we can all start getting maybe 10, 15 years ago. And now when these lists come out of Toronto and they say, yeah, we can be in Picton in 2 hours and stay on the 401 for pretty well most of it. And yet when you get there, it feels like this great, hip, rural area with wineries. It's got to, I'm surprised it's number 2. What else was on the list?
Well, Collingwood and Huntsville were the other top places. And as you pointed out this morning, that's more north. So a lot of people from the city, from Toronto, tend to head up the 400 and go north. And they were going that way. And now it seems like they're coming east more. And hence why Picton's on the list. But Collingwood and Huntsville, still big places as well. And still not that far from us, if we did want to check them out too. But let's not forget about what's in our backyard.
Yeah, and I understand Huntsville because when we go up to Algonquin, we'll make that 1 hour trek into Huntsville, and it's the same thing. It's like that little Ontario town. There's just nothing like it in the summertime, and Picton does it for people in Toronto. So nice work, Prince Edward County, and a nice pat on the back for that. Also on the show this morning, we finally caught up with Hayden out of Harmony Public School. What a young fella.
Oh my gosh. Grade 6, and the insight that he has already has just blown us away. What an inspiration this kid is.
Great reaction on air, both Wednesday when we first aired his speech, yesterday when we talked to Ms. Slager, his teacher, and then following his appearance on the show this morning on 95.5 Hits FM. We gave him a call to find out how long it took him to write it and what was going through his head when he did it, through the mind of a 12-year-old. So here we go. This is Hayden
Hi.
Hi, is this Hayden?
Hi, Hayden.
It's Mark and Charity Mornings on 95.5 Hits FM. I guess you were expecting our phone call. I'm here in the studio in Belleville, and thanks to technology, Charity is out at her home in Campbellford.
Yeah.
But we really wanted to talk to you, Hayden. I didn't want to miss this phone call.
So, grade 6 at Harmony, we aired your motivational speech yesterday about keeping your chin up and looking beyond the pandemic to how much you're looking forward to getting back to things you said you used to take for granted. That's just some kind of insight for a student in grade 6. Take us a little bit through your speech and how you wrote it.
Got the ideas because COVID is the only thing that everyone seems to be talking about and thinking about it anymore. So he thought that would be the thing that most needed to be motivated.
That's very true, and we all need that.
So your teacher says that you can choose anything, right? Was it anything that you could choose?
Yeah.
So clearly this has been on your mind. How did you think about being in school at home and then coming back after Christmas so that you were in this frame of mind to write that speech? How have you been feeling about the pandemic over the past few months?
I've been feeling that it will be over soon. That everybody seems to be doing what's right.
And how have you been staying motivated, Hayden?
I just keep reminding myself that this pandemic is not going to be permanent.
Wow. This is Hayden, who is in grade 6 at Harmony Public School. And we're going to take some time now and remind everybody about your speech. We're going to play it on the air right now again, as we did before, and on our podcast, the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. So before we let you go and before we play it, how long did it take you to write it?
I'd say, I'm not sure, like 15 minutes.
Wow.
I have no clue.
Holy cow.
Wow, that's remarkable. Do you know how remarkable that is to write something that impacts the amount of people it has in just 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, do you like public speaking, Hayden? Do you like doing the motivational speaking?
No.
No.
You're very good at it.
You're very good. It's an important skill to have.
Yeah, this is not going to be a career, not at all.
Yeah, Charity and I, at one time, we said the same thing, and yet here we are. Hayden, off you go. We're going to play your speech one more time for everybody, but we just wanted to meet the young man behind the words, and thank you so much for caring so much about everybody in the Quinte region to share your thoughts, and we wish you all the best to you and your family and all of your classmates and everybody at Harmony Public School and Ms. Slager, and thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Hayden.
The only thing on everyone's mind lately is, of course, COVID-19. It is really the only thing that everyone seems to be talking about. Yeah, my favorite thing to think about isn't COVID, but how life is going to be afterwards. I find myself daydreaming about being able to do simple things that I used to take for granted. Like letting my friends see all of my face, not just my eyes and my messy hair. Not having to worry about visiting family or whether I will pass or fail a test I took in my nose. I don't have a crystal ball, but I believe we will get through this all together soon. Everyone seems to be coming together, getting vaccinated, and doing the right things to keep everyone safe. COVID has been tough on everyone, but I think there might be a few good things as well. Our appreciation for living normally, well, it will be the new normal, but will mean enjoying simple things or things I didn't even understand were important until they were gone. If we all keep doing what we are doing, we will get through this together. It'll be over before we know it.
Now, I'm not sure, Charity, if you put a pen in my hand and a piece of paper and said, I want you to write something from the heart that means something to people, and you only have 15 minutes, if I could have come up with that.
When he said 15 minutes, I thought, really? Really?
Yeah. Oh.
It would take me a lot longer than 15 minutes. Yeah.
So
that was awesome.
You can tell he really meant it. And we had a chance to speak to his parents when we were done. And he wasn't kidding when he said he's got no intention of doing this for a living. But, you know, what's great is watching your child blossom and do something that, A, you never thought they could do, but B, doing something they never thought they could do. And to have the impact that it did.
He had no interest prior to this in doing, and then that comes out of it.
Yeah, so what a great kid. And to Miss Slager, thank you so much. And to Vice Principal Smith, whose idea it was that they across the school start doing some motivational speaking. Let's get some positivity going. So Harmony Public School in the spotlight on the show this week, and for very good reasons. So thanks very much for that. And then before we let you go this weekend, it is conference championship weekend in the National Football League. And we huddled together and and came up with upset weekend last weekend and nailed it. Although we were all in on Buffalo, and that whole crazy last 13 seconds plus overtime.
Oh my gosh.
If anything comes out of it, I think it's got to be changes in the rules so we don't have to endure that again. And here's hoping we don't have another one of those situations where we go to overtime where only one team gets the ball and the other team never gets it and therefore does not go to the Super Bowl. I think there'd be rioting in the streets.
Well, I think a conversation is going to have to be had after last weekend, because that seemed to be top of mind for a lot of people this week.
So here are the matchups for Sunday afternoon. 3 o'clock is the AFC Championship game. Cincinnati Bengals at Kansas City Chiefs. You have no idea the long odds. If you had walked into a casino on the final day of August and said, I'd like to put money down and say that Cincinnati's going to play Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. Because heading into the season, Cincinnati was the third longest shots to win the Super Bowl. Third longest. Only Detroit, and can't even remember who the other one was. And here they are, 4 good quarters away from making it in. So Kansas City's a 7-point favorite. And then at 6:30 is the NFC Championship. San Francisco at LA Rams. Who do you like?
San Francisco.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with San Francisco.
LA is at home. However, because they're in the same division, they have played each other twice. They played on Monday Night Football, November 15th. 49ers at home routed the Rams 31-10. And then, final game of the season, January the 9th, San Francisco needed that win to get in and went in and beat the Rams again 27-24 at SoFi. 3 weeks later, here they come again. San Francisco, big underdogs against Green Bay, and yet Aaron Rodgers had never beaten San Francisco, and it happened again. So you're right. What's to suggest San Francisco can't go toe-to-toe with the Rams as 3.5-point underdogs on Sunday? So you've got San Francisco making it in.
I do, yep.
Bengals and Chiefs have squared up also this month, back on January 2nd, week 17. In Cincinnati, Bengals beat the Chiefs in a barn burner, 34-31. Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes combining for almost 720 yards of offense in the air alone, which if they were to get to 800 would make it, I think, the biggest postseason game in the air ever. Super Bowl with Tom Brady was crazy a number of years back when he went for 500 yards. But this could be one of the greatest AFC matchups of all time in the air. Chiefs are favored by 7. Who do you like there? I know.
See, that's a tough one. I know who my husband wants to win. I don't know if I necessarily agree with him. He's going for the Chiefs, and I don't know.
After what the Chiefs did to Buffalo, you kind of want him to get a little tossed aside. But then it also proves, but they play 60 minutes of football. We saw that in the last 13 seconds, and they've got a fair amount of experience. Gosh, I love Cincinnati. I love Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon. I just love the team. I love their youth and enthusiasm, but experience still carries a bigger weight than youthful enthusiasm, as if Kansas City is over the hill. They're hardly over the hill. But as I said this morning on the air, here's my not so bold prediction, is that it's going to be one favorite and one underdog. So either the Super Bowl is going to be Kansas City and San Francisco or LA and Cincinnati. I don't see both favorites winning, and I don't see both underdogs winning. But I think I like yours. I think I'm going to lean on Kansas City, San Francisco to be my Super Bowl selections for February the 13th at SoFi Stadium. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to circle it now. Here we go. You've helped me to do that.
All right.
Kansas City, San Francisco. We'll see what happens. Enjoy your weekend, all right? Get out there and enjoy some of that, some great cooler weather and the snow, Charity. Take care of yourself. We'll talk on Monday.
And you enjoy your weekend. We'll see how these picks pan out come Monday.
Come Monday. It's a Mark and Charity Coffee podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, off our social media sites, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Just make sure you subscribe so that you get it daily. It comes up Monday through Friday about 11 o'clock in the morning. Broadcast out of Belleville, Ontario, Canada at 95.5 Hits FM. Back in on Monday, we're going to have your Monday Mystery Year on Galaxy of Games. Latest entertainment news with Jimmy Hollywood on the box office, the football picks, and the final day of January is coming up on Monday. Enjoy your weekend with Mark and Charity Mornings.